In today's episode, we have Massimo. He's originally from Italy, but for more than 2 decades, he's been living and working across East Africa. His work has always been about livestock, food security, and public health. In this conversation, we talk about working conflict zones, aspects of culture shock, and how you balance career, life, and roots when your family is on the move. Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Building Roots Abroad. And today we have here Massimo. So I'll just let him introduce a little bit of himself, and welcome to our podcast, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for your time. Let me introduce myself. My name is Massimo Castello. I'm Italian by nationality. Moved to Africa almost 30 years ago, 30 years ago, and start working there, move and work in a number of countries in Africa and the Middle East. I'm here in Australia actually on vacation to visit my daughter, and in a couple of weeks I'll be back, continue working. I work mostly in East Africa, means in the Horn of Africa.
Okay.
I'm a veterinarian by profession as a first degree, then I pursue my PhD. Actually, my area of specialization is public health with focus on disease transmitted between food or animal origin and human beings.
Cool. And then going from all the introduction to the beginning of the journey, how was for you the decision to actually move overseas?
The decision of moving overseas came 100% by chance. I met someone who was asking me to come to Kenya from Italy to do a training to young veterinarian graduates who were just graduating at the university without any practical training. So he met me once, and then I had no intention to move to Africa at all. So I made a joke. I told him, rather than having me coming down and do the training there, why don't you start sending some Africans here? So the guy took me by the book. He sent a Maasai veterinarian from Kenya to my house in Italy. We kept him at home for 3 months, Diane and I, I trained him as a vet. So by the time he went back to Kenya, he was a fully trained vet. He continued his career. Meantime, he asked me to come down to Kenya and start writing a project on training for young veterinarians. By that time, I started developing the concept that I could have used my expertise, my skills to train young vets. I've been doing it in Italy, but then I decided to see if there was a possibility to use my profession on different angles, not the traditional one. So my motivation were mostly based on professional challenges. I visited Kenya, then I fell in love for the country, beautiful nature. I worked in the field for 1 month. I never touched a town. So I went back to Italy, told my wife, okay, in 1 year we are moving to Kenya, we change our life.
Wow.
At that time, my first child was 3 years old. Cecilia was not yet born. So after 1 year, we packed and moved.
Wow. Amazing. And how long were you working as a vet back in Italy before then?
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
Amazing.
So I had my experience, I had done my career. I always work as a private practitioner, and I'm a farm vet. I'm a large animal vet. So I don't deal with pets, and just deal with cows, sheep, goats. And
so, the livestock?
So livestock, definitely livestock. So I moved to Africa doing most of the time the same. But the first 2 years of my work were focused on training of young vets, and especially training of people left behind due to civil unrest, a civil war. So the first years of my work in Africa were focused in Somalia, in Eritrea during the war, 1998, 99, back to Kenya for a few years, then again in conflict countries. So apart the last period of my life in Uganda, I always 100% of my time work in conflict countries. Somalia, South Sudan, which has been under civil war for many years. And then part of a short mission to Eritrea, part of my work in Ethiopia, which is much stable. So more or less, that was it.
Yeah, that's very actually interesting, the whole story and all the countries that you actually had the opportunity to work in. And you just touched base on the political part of it. How was for you to work in such a different environment, especially because you mentioned about the political aspect of it?
The real point is not moving from a country in Europe to another country in Africa. There are so many issues related to the cultural difference, geographical difference, climatic difference. but to use your skills from a stable country to countries with high level of instability. It gives an additional professional challenge, which sometimes is extremely stressful. So you work in contests, you work in areas where, due to the political reality, due to the civil conflict, due to the natural disaster occurring there, I saw flood, I saw drought, I saw famine, people dying of starvation. I saw many things in many years. So you move to a context where nothing is taken for granted. The fact that you are a professional person does not mean that you have access to everywhere and to everybody. So most of your skills, the things you want to do need to be renegotiated sometimes, need to be negotiated several times to have access. Even sometimes to have access to vaccinate animals or to assess a group of animals. You need to have interaction with the communities, which are not part of our work in a stable country like could be Italy or Spain or France. So that was the big challenge. For me, it was a learning opportunity.
Of course,
So work in a context where your professional skills are not taken for granted. You need to demonstrate every day. You need to demonstrate that once you go to a community, you talk to people, you propose something, you bring an added value. Nobody give any importance to your degree or your level of qualification or how many papers you have published.
It's more like body language and how you can actually communicate.
Absolutely. Again, moving in realities which are, for example, moving in Muslim countries require a set of understanding of culture or religion, norm, how to approach people. So a very, very, very diverse experience.
Of course. And how did you navigate all of that culture difference? I know we are talking about almost 5 countries that you already worked. So how was the language? And then also you have the big family aspect of it. It's not that you were just as many people in this podcast. So how was all this like culture shock plus the language and the family aspect of it?
Well, I had the very initial gift. The gift is I was accompanied in this journey by probably the best person in the world, was my wife. Is still struggling with me so far, and she's been extremely understanding and respectful of what was my vision, my desire. We have been helping each other in pursuing our own career, even though we are doing two very different things. But we have been helping each other throughout. It's been a difficult journey for both of us, individually and also as a couple. Children were brought up in Kenya, so they started the journey from the very beginning. So they say they were less traumatized. They didn't feel any jump. They just were brought up. It is a challenge because you don't feel the sense of the family linked to a specific physical place.
That's true.
You feel the sense of the family when we are together, regardless of where we are. When we are together, we really feel either when we are physically together or we can talk. In these days, we are WhatsApp-based family.
FaceTime.
But whenever we manage to talk, even can be 5 minutes in a day, the sense of the family lasts for 24 hours till the next call. It's not linked to a specific location or a specific geographical site or a house. We're not very material in that. The sense of family is built our personalities and love. And respect for each other. So now, if you look at us, we are 4 of us. Each of us has a very different career. Yet, we are still one family.
And location-wise, as you said, now it's different. Because just for context, his oldest son is living in Europe. The youngest is living in Australia, but that's why the location he's talking about is not like the main one.
Again, we keep a very high level of flexibilities because we are very sure where we are now. Don't think we are very sure where we're going to be in the next 1 or 2 years.
I agree.
Physically. So that's it. This is the sense of unpredictability. The sense of unpredictability makes the sentimental bondage much more solid.
And how was for you the language part of it, the communication? As you said, was one of the main things in your job. Was not just the skill set, was also the language.
I at the beginning, when I decided to move to Kenya, I was speaking a very basic English, not definitely elaborated or as the English I'm speaking now, though it's not the perfect one. No, very basic. What was an advantage for me is I started learning Kiswahili. which is the language spoken by 150 million people in East Africa. Kiswahili makes you closer to people.
Of course, yeah.
English is, for example, the Kenya Constitution is written in English. So it's a formal language, it's a formal language of science. I worked many years for the United Nations, so it's the communication language. So it is formal, it's technical, it's well accepted, everybody speaks English. But if you want to go close to people, or you want to crack a joke, or you want to increase the level of intimacy or confidence across the table, we breaking in Swahili. We all speak Swahili at home quite fluently. So to me, learning Swahili was something that made me much more successful in relationship and try to make people understanding what I was doing, what I was planning to do.
Amazing. And then you mentioned also that when you moved to Kenya, you already knew that it was an amazing country. You already told your wife, I really want to bring everyone here. What was the feeling? Like, why did you feel that? It was the people, was the environment, or was just like a feeling with yourself? Oh, I think that's my place.
There is a famous theory written by somebody called Richard Leakey. Richard Leakey said, you know that Lucy, the oldest humankind recovered, 1.4 million years old, was recovered in Afar region in Ethiopia. So one of the remaining of people moving from Australopithecus afarensis to Homo erectus to Homo sapiens were recovered in the Olduvai Gorge, which is in East Africa.
Okay.
Richard Leakey said that most of the people coming to Africa for the first time, they feel at home because humankind originated from East Africa.
Wow, that's so impressive.
I don't know if it's true. It's never been proved to be true. It's a very romantic theory. If I have to tell you after 29 years in Africa, I will never tell you I feel at home in Kenya or in Somalia or in Uganda, not in Italy. Again, my feeling at home is not linked to a geographical location, but if I have to sit on the floor and talk all night, I would rather do with Africans and not with Italians.
The connection and everything you...
Yeah, I develop a feeling, I develop a capacity to understand especially Kenya, but also Somalis, pastoralists, people. I want to tell you something interesting. In Italy, I work in northern Italy, in a very pastoral area, where people keep on moving seasonally with their animals, not fixed farm.
Because of the weather.
When I start working in East Africa, most of the East African people keeping livestock are pastoralists. They keep on moving. I find no difference in their mentality. The only difference was the language.
Yeah.
But the mentality, the problem-solving capacity, the risk analysis they do, according to weather, rain, drought, security, conflict, access, except I didn't feel any difference between the mentality of the people approaching.
Amazing.
So, if I have to share dinner or to share time, spend time talking around the fire, as I did a lot of time in my last 30 years, I would share my time with Africans.
Yeah, wow. And then did you live actually more time in Italy or in Africa? That's my a random question.
Well, I'm getting to more or less a 50% because I'm 64.
Yeah.
I think my wife will move over 50% because she spent more time in Africa than in Italy in a year or two.
Yeah, wow. Yes, also like this time connection that you built so much in Africa as well. So
absolutely.
Yes. Definitely feel part of that. So yeah, keeping just on the work aspect that we were talking, do you want to just break a little bit the experience you had, what you actually do in the workforce and what you do now as a consultant?
Well, I completed my career with the United Nations. I've been United Nations staff with the Deputy Director of FAO in Uganda. I closed my career with the United Nations 6-7 years ago. I joined the European Union for a big project on livestock. I finished with the European Union 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I formed a small group. We mainly do research in livestock and pastoral areas, again in crisis-prone areas. Try to understand, starting from a basic concept. Basic concept is most of the people living in area characterized by dry or drought or sometimes conflict or natural disaster are basing their livelihood on livestock. They can survive as long as they have animals. Animals represent a source of meat, milk for the children. So when you go and work with their animals, you save animals' life and you save people's life. This is why we decide to focus in this area. We are doing a lot of research, data collection, try to help donors and big agencies to focus their intervention in a more productive way. In the recent years, we are approaching now, in the next month, I will be in South Sudan because there is a huge problem in terms of internal migration of people between South Sudan and Sudan now. Try to develop some livestock economy, try to keep people more where they are to get some more employment, more work. And with this, we are doing the same in Kenya, we're doing the same in Somalia.
Nice.
So our research group is focused on collecting data and formulating program and projects.
Yeah, from a like local community, how to build
Absolutely.
this
We
relationship.
We use a lot of young people doing data collection for us. We partner with the local universities.
Nice.
We get students and we hire them as enumerators, and we take them back to their community of origin.
Okay.
So they speak the local language. And bear in mind that Swahili is one language. Kenya has 170
Like dialects, yeah.
So Uganda probably even more proportionally. So
Wow.
we send them back to their origin, their community. We collect the data, we analyze the data, we formulate proposal. Out of that, we are working on carbon credit now, on livestock. So we do research all over East Africa. One of the big questions coming from my wife and also from some of my family members or many friends, I could have stopped working. And I always say, you can stop your work, you cannot stop your passion.
Yeah,
I'm very passionate about my work. I'll continue work until
that's
Okay.
very cool.
picking up what I like, what I don't like, not picking it up, but definitely becoming very picky, very selective.
Yeah, of course,
But
you with all
very
the work
interested.
experience. Yeah.
I'm very interested. So what we do in our group, we are all senior. We take one young graduate, African young graduate, we pay for the master. So she completes, or he completes the master,
That's
and
so
then we
nice.
get another one. So it's part of our company our group commitment. So
Yeah,
this is what we
nice.
do now.
And then all this, the consultant job, just for context, what you were doing before with livestock was also related to study, or you had to go to the farms or places like that and kind of deal with the animals.
Now it's taking a different dimension because, for example, with the United Nations or with the European Union, I was working on higher level in program formulation.
Okay.
Program formulation is a high level task. Now doing research and doing data collection, I'm going much deeper, much into detail. So we physically visited some farms, some ranches, some community to understand how they make profit, how they make milk, how they make milk out of their animal, what are the issues they have, what are the diseases, for example, what are the constraints, what are the problems in accessing market, for example. What are, for example, most of the producers, they do produce animals, but they are out of the market, they are far away. And there is a huge problem in terms of women exclusion. So try to get niches within the full value chain, try to bring women in, try to increase a little bit the level of women empowerment, youth empowerment. So for us now, what is making me particularly happy, now I'm free to sit and talk to people as I used to do at the beginning of
That's
my
cool.
career.
Very like social and
Absolutely. In the veterinary work, there is a lot of anthropological things inside. You need to study anthropology. Understanding of the culture and the societies helps a lot to vehiculate some intervention.
yeah, to relate.
We noticed sometime in the past that some interventions were not welcome, not because the intervention per se was not good, because the way we communicated, we vehiculated was not appropriate for their culture.
Yeah,
or
the right approach.
so need to talk to people.
Yeah, wow, that's actually, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So it's also not just the vet part of it, you have a lot of other skills to
Certainly
be, which is how you started the whole story, talking about how to deal with people. For all those roles that you mentioned, what do you think was the biggest like challenge and how you overcame it overall across all those years?
The biggest challenge,
Yeah, for you.
to be white. Be white.
Even speaking the language, that was a
Ah.
big thing.
No. What I'm going to say has not any racial element into it. But at the end of the story, the physical diversity is an element which comes at the first sight. It's something that you need to be able to overcome. I'm not thinking that none of us can become African. And no African can become European. The way we are born is the way we are born. What the common ground is always a common interest. People need to see you as bringing a value to them. By the time they understand that, then all the other barriers disappear. But you need to come down to that level. I'm not here to help. I need to exchange something with you. It can be an intervention, can be anything. There is a way to say you need to treat their animals to get to the people. You need to go through the people to get to their animals. By the time they let you touch their animals, that barrier is already gone. Now it's no longer relevant if you are white, pink, black. That is no longer the point. As I say, most of the community I've been working with, they consider livestock the primary asset. Without livestock, they will die. If livestock dies, people die.
Yeah.
There is no. So if you go there and help them, try to give a level of assistance or a little bit of knowledge and understanding in how to handle crisis and shocks, they recognize that all the other barriers. But the first barrier is definitely the fact that you come from abroad, you are a white man, and sometimes you made a mistake giving the impression to people that you come to know everything and they don't know anything.
As a saver. Yeah.
I can tell you a small episode. I was in a Maasai area many years ago, and I was speaking with the whole Maasai with a translator. But the guy did not even speak Swahili, he spoke only Kimar. So I don't speak Kimar. So I talked to him. And we understand the guy did not know how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, to count. I've been to school, of course. He was closing in the night 300 or 400 cows. He could tell us there was one cow missing. But then the guy could not count. He knew out of 200 or 300 cows, there was one cow missing. He knew the cow, he knew the name of the cow.
Is another type of skill that you kind of need to develop in the context
So you
you
need
are.
to have an understanding of different type of skills.
That's
No
actually
lower,
very
no higher, different.
Yeah, you can get a lot of work and life experience from all of that.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, so for you, how was the most awarding thing that you did? The thing that you remember along all those years that you could see you could change something, or that you're kind of proud of doing it in your career?
One of the things is to be able to explain with scientific data some of the things happening. You go to certain communities and they can tell you, in this area we never put our animals. We never graze our animals. We graze here and there. You know, grazing when they eat grass. We never graze them. You ask them why. They tell you, because my father never grazed there. My grandfather never grazed there. We were told don't graze them. When you go do an investigation, you discover that in that area there is a specific type of insect, not ticks, who are carrying a certain disease. So this is why historically these people have been avoiding that area. So link science to practice.
To history and
Give an understanding of why people have been doing it. Most of the case, whatever we do now is part of our culture. There was a scientific reason which has been forgotten. And we talk to them, you pass on this knowledge, which is a recent knowledge. And they are extremely happy to understand that behind their rationale, there is an even stronger rationale. None of them is higher than the other one. I can give you other example if you want, very boring. I don't consider my progress in career or the scientific paper I have published noticeable achievement. I don't really care. Okay. The most remarkable achievement for me is to sit with people, making them understanding many aspects of what we were doing together.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that your job is actually to prove the science behind whatever they already kind of implement, or even upskill that kind of situation. Exactly. And you keep the studies to them. How do you explain to them that this is actually the reason? Is it an easy thing to do, or?
Not easy at all, because again, it's a matter of language. Your message can be extremely strong, extremely clear, and scientifically extremely well founded. You may really fail badly if you don't know how to communicate. It's the communication skills which makes the difference. If you are a strong communicator, you may pass a lot of real things. On the other side, you may pass a lot of lies.
Yeah.
Which is happening nowadays everywhere in the world. But again, the quality of your message makes you give the capacity of that important message to get into the community and cater for further elaboration within the community itself or the group. This is why 50% the quality of the message and 50% the quality of your communication.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I was working the other day with a group. I just came from Rwanda, a country in Central Africa.
Yeah.
And I met a group of beautiful women who were doing theater. They were playing acts to convince people to increase the nutrition of the children. For many years, they were producing signboard, pamphlets, magazine, radio message. The result was not tangible. What they realized after 2 years ago, they start hiring some young actors and playing in villages, nutrition. And they say now they start seeing results.
Yeah, of
moving.
course.
There's a way of communicating. There was another example I can give you in South Africa. It was rabies. Rabies was been a big problem in South Africa. It's still endemic in Uganda, unfortunately in Kenya. Kills so many children every year. Children are the ones suffering the most because they are the one who most likely get a dog bite.
Yeah.
Village. So I remember having met an old man who used to reduce the incidence of rabies in an area in South Africa using the Land Rover. The guy was going around with the Land Rover with a wide screen and every night stopping in a village and projecting Mickey Mouse and Charlie Chaplin movie to kids. And at the end, showing them some few pictures of what to do when you find the dog coming. Don't go close to the dog.
That's beautiful.
Run away, call your father, don't touch. If the dog bites you or licks you, disinfect the wound. He had a massive impact. So you break the cultural barrier and you get into the audience you need to get.
Yeah.
Children, definitely.
Wow.
So this is one of the many examples. This I consider the most exciting part of my work.
Very exciting.
Every time you need to find a way to get into people.
It's not just science, it's also communication, a bit of like marketing, how I'm going to advertise this.
Sell a concept.
Yeah.
Sell a concept the way people will buy it.
Understand the audience. So cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. And then for you, how like working with local communities differ from like international organizations? So the organizations in Africa, that's a curious question, is more a mix of international people from everywhere, or you also have the locals?
No, there is a multiple layer in the system.
Yeah.
So the upper level are the donor community and the big agencies. UN family, some of the big NGOs. Most of the donors can be member state, the nation itself, SID or the European Union. These are donors who are funding program. Implementation bodies lay in between. So these are international NGOs and private groups that are implementing activities. The lower level is a level mix between local NGOs, based organizations, CBOs, and the community themselves. It's been always a struggle to understand how much benefit will go down to the community, passing through all this chain, characterized by multiple layers and the number of transactions. Transaction cost is always a big problem. Most of the program reach at the level of the community. It has been debatable. It has been difficult to demonstrate what is really been over the years the real impact. One of the most successful angle of all this, it is and should be in the future to build the capacity of local organizations, community-based local NGOs to deliver service. At the end of the story, we most of the time work in countries where the government does not have the capacity, neither financial, sometimes not even technical, administrative capacity to reach every single person who can be affected by TV, or a woman who wants to deliver. It doesn't know where to get assistance. Kenya progressed very well. Uganda progressed very well. Still a long way to go. Especially we are dealing with countries with a demographic growth. We expect the population to become much bigger in the coming years. Very relationship to the fact that the population is getting bigger and the land is not getting bigger.
Yeah.
But I meant the same, because we need to feed people. And the capacity of feeding people and the capacity to create job, employment, secure food, and secure social stability is also linked to the level of migration.
Yeah, high level management.
So people migrate. Some of them are conflict migrants, and most of them are economic migrants. And economic migrant means they're looking for a source of food, a source of income, which they cannot get at home. And we see in the last few years, it will become more and more climate migrants.
Yeah.
So when there is less rain, believe me, there will be less food. No discussion.
Yeah.
Especially because 90% of the African agriculture.
It's not like you do artificial stuff to...
Yeah, to have irrigation. There is almost no irrigation in Africa. Very limited.
Yeah.
They are on rain-fed. By the time the rain either diminishes or moves in season, people lost the crop.
Wow.
And then they will move. Definitely people will move looking for money and food.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I think it's very related to what you mentioned about livestock's not the same everywhere.
No.
Because maybe if you compare, I don't know, to Brazil, which I know a little bit, I know they have the most artificial stuff because they will export the meat so they can charge more and they have the type
Of
of
course.
technology. But if you're going a local one, of course they don't want to afford that because they won't sell externally.
Yeah.
So if you compare, it's
And these
not
are-
always the same.
And this is especially all the events related to the climate change we are seeing the last few years. So we'll see intensify more and more. So we'll see the number of migrants likely to increase.
Yeah.
They travel for food and money,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing else.
So I think just going through the social part of the questions, we already covered how was migrating to another country, the language and all of that. But for you, how was building your family in a multicultural environment? How do you feel about the cultural aspect of your story?
Okay, we had an advantage. My children Cecilia was completely brought up in Kenya.
Yeah,
So we moved to Kenya, Cecilia was 2 months old.
yeah.
Mattia was 3.5. So he got a good imprinting from the Italians in Italy, but he moved to Kenya was quite young. My wife was very helpful in understanding me and supporting me in this. It was very different from the other Italian families.
In Kenya or back in
Kenya.
Italy?
In Kenya.
Mm.
The other Italian families living in Kenya, so in Kenya,
Mhm.
they were bringing up their children very well. But always telling, oh, one day we'll go back to Italy, counting the days to go and spend the vacation in Italy. We go back home.
Mm.
I always refused that attitude. I completely rejected
Yeah,
it.
it's confusing.
And I told my children, this is Kenya, this is your home, this is your country. Where you originated from is a detail.
Yeah.
Take it the way you want it. Very important, less important, up to you. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel living here, hoping as much as possible to go back to Italy.
Yeah.
Because that is your country, that where you belong to. So it would have been, to me, it would have been extremely negative.
Yeah.
I told them since they were able to talk, speak, to run around, told them, this is your country, English is your language, cope with it.
Yeah.
But Cecilia was not difficult at all. Actually, she started speaking first Swahili and then English.
That's so
And
nice.
then speak Italian afterward,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so Mattia was a little bit more difficult.
In the transition.
Well, Mattia asked some questions. We put him in a nursery
Mm-hmm.
where there were probably 200 kids. We're all black. He was the only white.
No.
Yeah, we put him there. So he was playing with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
After 1 or 2 weeks, he came back home. I remember he asked us, when am I becoming black?
No.
So there was no problem. So it was a bit shocking. But
Yeah, but
what I want to tell you is we never have them living in Kenya thinking that their home is Italy, go back to Italy because it's the best country in the world.
mm-hmm.
Spaghetti is the best food, pizza is the best food. No, we never.
That stereotype, yeah.
So this is your country, Kenya, live, cope with it, enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I don't know if it gives them more or less stability, but to me, it was the right approach.
Yeah, makes sense.
Rather than feeling that, oh, we are living here, but the best life we can do is in Italy. No,
Doesn't make any sense if you live like that.
no.
Mm.
So this is, you got to get the best life where you are.
Mm-hmm.
If tomorrow you move to another country, what an important decision my wife took. I keep on moving across countries
Yeah.
in assignment, and Liliana told me, so you move wherever you want, kids will finish the school in Kenya. So they both finished the school in Kenya, then they move abroad.
So
That was
good.
very important.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because you feel like you can actually build something. If you're just in between ideas and countries and where should I be, doesn't work very well. So I think it's a very good advice for everyone, even if you're not growing a family, just with yourself. Just
You feel at home
With
where
your-
you are.
yeah, you have to
Where
have
you
this
would like to be.
mindset. Not like, oh, when I'm gonna come back and yeah, everything's gonna be better. How was for you maintaining your identity, even if your life was in Africa, and it is, how was the Italian part of yourself? Like, I know your wife, because we have an episode with her, she was working a lot in that aspect, like with the culture, with the food, with all of that. But for you itself, how was the nationality part playing a role?
You know, to me, is everything need to be articulated. It's be put in the right perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm from, or where I was working before, or where I'm going to work next, is another element.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the nationality is not relevant against the personality.
Mm-hmm.
What you do, you build because of yourself. Somebody asked me sometime in Italy, we were at dinner, and said, "Are you proud to be Italian?" I said, "It may come to you this question. I hope not. I hope you will not provide a nasty answer like the one I did, because I
Yeah,
told them
people ask.
I'm not proud to be Italian. Why? I'm proud of what I made. I'm not the one who chose to be born Italian.
Mm-hmm.
I could have born in Marseille, be
Mm-hmm.
French, or in Madrid and be Spanish. So I'm proud of what I did.
Yeah,
I'm proud
I
of
really
my
like
work, my profession, my achievement, my children, my family.
that. Not where you were born.
So I'm not proud. So when I say I'm not proud to be Italian, everybody hit the roof and came back.
Mm.
They were all Italians. No, you
Mhm.
should be proud to be Italian because we have best food in the world. Really. I should
That's
be
the
proud
reason.
of making pizza.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is the point? The point is, you, after years exposed to other culture, other countries, or other people, your origin becomes less and less relevant.
Yeah.
Unless you want to 10, 20, 30 years, 30 years in Africa, still want to put your footprint or your nationality, your cultural identity, which to me is not the same thing on nationality.
Mm-hmm.
You want to bring as the first point of representation or discussion,
Mm-hmm.
then you are completely wrong. You shouldn't be stay back home.
Yeah.
I never approach an African tell you, I would like you to become a little bit Italian, to listen a little bit.
Understanding, but yeah.
I couldn't care less. You know, as much as I don't want to become an African, I will never be an African.
Yeah.
I understand where I live is different.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to put as a first point into the perspective, you're lost. You better stay back home.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense.
You know?
Yeah.
We're not colonizing anymore.
Yeah.
Huh?
And not just that, but I think asking if you're proud, like probably no one actually asked me, but probably will in the future in a sense like, so you're not proud, that's why you moved, or
I'm proud of
to
all.
anyone. Yeah, you know, to anyone, but I don't think it's very related to where you're born, but what you can do with your life. Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, well, again, you need to explain to people, putting everybody in the right perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, people may feel offended.
Yeah, because you decided to.
The underlying concept, when they ask you, are you proud to be
Brazilian?
You're Brazilian.
Yeah.
Are you proud to be Brazilian? Oh, you
Okay,
say, yeah, I'm
yeah,
very
but-
proud to be Brazilian because we are better than Venezuelans. No, that doesn't work. So I'm not proud to be Italian. I'm
Yeah.
Italian, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
I can.
Proud of the history, whatever happens, like in my case, but not that it does affect who I am because I'm just like, yeah, nice, I like Brazil, but how that actually
Proud
plays a
of my
role.
history, I didn't make it.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not
was
proud.
my father.
Yeah, makes
You know
a lot
what
of
I mean?
sense. Not that I'm proud. I like appreciate that all of that happened, but there's not much to deal with me. Yeah, which is literally what you're saying. Yeah. So I think the question you already covered about home. Home is where your family is. I think we covered this question in the first kind of section. So I would just go for final thoughts and reflection. For you, for anyone listening that is either in your field or are moving to Africa or already live there, do you have any advice from your from all of the stories we are talking today, like even career-wise or in the place that you live now? Do you have any advice from your experience?
2 or 3 for sure.
Yeah, please.
First of all, I start realizing when I moved to Africa, start working in Africa. The main point of working in Africa is that 99% of the people I was working with were Africans.
Mm-hmm.
It may escape the attention of somebody, but that is the reality.
Yeah.
And I realized that nobody ever sent a letter to Italy inviting me in Africa.
You decided to.
I decided.
Mm-hmm.
So when I realized that I decided, I understand immediately that I should be as less invasive as possible,
Mm-hmm.
extremely respectful,
That's so good.
and extremely humble.
Mm.
If I want to be a welcome person, and it goes back to the point I made with you before, the quality of your message,
Yeah.
the capacity of passing the tone. You pass the messages, people respect you. And respect from people is built on respect you have for people. Respect for their culture, to their way of thinking. People are not stupid or, or intellectual. They're just people.
They can understand the
And
vibe.
believe me, you can cut across many society, Muslim, not Muslim, Coptic, Christian, or any. I work with more than 40 ethnic groups in Africa. All of them, they're looking for food, health, for their children, a good school. They don't want anything more in life. This is what they need. You have to be very humble. You have to be very respectful. Don't talk and listen for years.
Yeah.
Then you start not integrating. I don't want to eliminate the difference. Difference will be there always. I want to understand. To understand the difference, you understand the similarities.
Yeah.
If you don't understand the difference, you will never be able to pick up the similarities. And you don't move through difference, you move through similarities on the common ground. I tell you, you can speak 10 different languages, but the way a pregnant woman will talk to another pregnant woman has no
There's no
language barrier.
Yeah.
They have the same issues.
Yeah.
Or women with children. Believe me, there is a common ground. So to get that common ground, you need to be respectful, you need to be humble. You need to always, when you wake up in the morning, say nobody has invited me.
Wow. Very good.
If you follow that prescription from the doctor, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just get frustrated.
True. Every scenario I can think about, like international life, even if you go to study, if you go to live and across any country, everything makes sense.
And also, it is important that sometimes you stop, you sit back, you understand where is the balance between the reason why you're here and the reason why you left where you are. Put them in a balance and try to see where you're going. I tell you, most of the time in my life, especially in difficult countries, in difficult situation, difficult mission, project or assignment which were going nowhere, wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and ask a famous chat to him, ask him before I ask, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? That's interesting, important, that you sometimes you sit and say, what are the reasons why I left, where I was? What are the reasons for being here? Never put them into a straight balance, but put them again into the right perspective.
Yeah, to be your guidance and
What is the most difficult part of the exercise is only one. When you sit in your country of origin, first you have your family network around you. You move to Kenya, we had no one.
Yeah.
We had no safety net around us. Something happened to me, I had only my wife.
Yeah.
Something happened to her, something happened to our children, which happened actually, we were the only one. So you don't take anything for granted anymore.
Yeah.
Now, put that into perspective. It's very difficult to understand if you are still on a positive balance.
Yeah.
There must be something bigger or higher that keeps on motivating being. We raise our children 110 kilometers from Nairobi. There was only one landline. Forget it, there were no mobile. Only one landline.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. So we were, as parents, we were extremely brave.
Very out of the comfortable zone.
It was like in the backpack here. So, so that's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Amazing. Wait, I think just for the last question of our podcast, what building roots abroad mean to you? I think we talked a lot about roots and people and all of the community aspect of all of that. But for you, what does like build roots abroad means? Living in another country and build who you are or developing yourself overseas without all this like borders and I'm Italian, I'm Brazilian, I'm this or I'm that, just building who you are overseas in other countries.
Interesting. we need to go back to the concept of roots.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in certain culture, we say the rootless man is not a man. Are roots important? Esteem important. Depends on, again, which perspective you use.
Yeah.
To me, the concept of roots into a specific location, which coincides with your culture, your community, it was probably extremely protecting and relevant in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Now is becoming less and less relevant.
Yeah, globalization.
And also led by globalization, but also led by the fact that there is an element. We have most of our relatives in Italy, they are extremely on their roots. They never travel more than 20 kilometers from their village. Just go to a big town, do some shopping and come back. Fantastic. And they say, oh, you're not missing your roots. No, I'm not missing my roots. And I'm not missing the fact that you are completely self-referenced. Because only the exposure to other culture, it gives you an open-minded, wide perspective of human beings. When you sit and live in your village, you may need to understand that probably in India there are almost 1.8 billion people who are not eating your food. They are not praying to your God. They do very different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Either you decide to be exposed or not, but the problem is not roots or no roots. Where I come from, I know very well where I come from. The fact that I travel abroad, I challenge myself in a different society. Does not mean that I left my roots. Actually, I nourish my roots better than you, who keep on sitting on it for 3 generations.
Yeah.
Without moving 20 kilometers. So the concept of being rootless or with your roots has to change in the last few years. It's no longer what we consider to be 50 years ago.
Sure. Yeah.
And people living abroad means they forgot their roots. No? Why? I don't forget my roots. I know exactly the culture I come from.
And you managed to build those roots in other countries.
I use my culture to adjust other inputs to me. My culture is always a big or less or small filter. It always works as a filter. I recognize that. I cannot deny the fact that I'm Italian, though I'm not proud of it. But in the sense that being proud, you understand that.
The proud word, yeah.
It's always a filter to me. I don't allow it to be the biggest filter. I try to work with people intelligence beyond their culture.
Cannot be the main trait.
No.
No.
Should not be.
Yeah.
It is the only way you can respect your culture. Don't use as a filter, as a barrier. Don't use as a sieve. There is no sieve. You talk and there is so many aspects of my culture I don't like. And believe me, there are so many aspects of other countries' culture that I don't like.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't use them as a filter. I try to work toward the areas which I like, I can understand.
Yeah.
I can work on.
Get the best of both worlds.
We had with African friends, there are some topics we don't even get into discussion. Because I know I'm going to clash. I can give you an example, quite not nice one. For example, of female mutilation of circumcision. We don't talk about, because if you get into an issue, you better don't touch it.
Yeah. It's like abortion for other countries. And
so it's beyond my... So where I want to go for a clash, which I don't, I go for that. Otherwise, keep it aside. Use other areas. Talk. If it comes, you put your opinion, you put your passion, you put your thinking on that. But you don't use as a turning point.
Yeah.
It's not, because you clash.
Yeah. And you lose the communication aspect. That is the main thing we are talking. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you very much. I think we got so many insights. It was such an amazing story, not only for whoever wants to follow the same career, but also the aspect of doing that overseas and all the insights that you got from your journey. Do you have anything else to add before we close the episode?
No, I think thank you very much for your question. I think they were very well too.
No, thank you. And thank you very much for responding to it and for supporting the project. It's a pleasure. And thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Have a beautiful evening.
You too.
In today's episode, we have Massimo.